Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to give you the winning ingredients for your Week 17 final look. All right, things can change at a moment's notice, but for what we got right now, the information that's coming in, all this COVID and ins and outs, it's wild for NFL right now to end the season. But I think we got some solid plays, guys. Before I deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MessageSD. And also, guys, don't forget, if you're already viewing, then hit that subscribe button. That's all you got to do. The goal is to get to 1K so we can do the giveaway. I'm giving away money to whoever is the 1,000th subscriber. We are currently at 674. We're doing at a great pace right now. Once we clipped over 600, we really raced up to 674 pretty fast. So let's continue to do that. Continue to do that all the way to 1,000. If you're viewing and you're not a subscriber, just hit that subscribe button and support your brother right here, Chef D, and I'm definitely here to give you information and insight to help you towards winning. Okay, that's the goal. All right. Now, also sign up for the Patreon. Sign up for the Patreon. We're growing little by little. I know you can see the number down there, but we're growing little by little. And I'm giving you daily content on NBA, on NFL, and betting advice. Okay, all that's coming in the package. This is different from Roto Grinders. You pay $30. There's no one there to answer your questions. Okay, that's the problem. And I'm here to help. So if you have any other questions, please DM me at Instagram at MetsNetJD. Now, let's get into this Week 17 final look we got going on here. And there's a lot of ways to go. Let's be 100% official on that. Things have changed, but let's focus in on the QB position. All right. Josh Allen is still a great play at 8K if you're willing to pay up. There's obviously some cheap plays that we can go to. You're going to have to get really creative and really make a judgment if you want to pay up or you want to pay down. But there are price points for a myriad of options. So Josh Allen, great at 8K if you want to go that route. Patrick Mahomes is also in a great spot. You can go Patrick Mahomes or you can save salary and you can go down and go to 6,900 and go to Joe Burrow. Patrick Mahomes' side, there's no Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They're going to lead on Darrell Williams a little bit more. They throw the ball a little bit more with Darrell Williams. He's a great pass-catching back, better than Clyde Edwards-Helaire. So they might go that route with him and Jerick McKinnon. But I definitely do see a high-scoring game in this KC and Cincinnati game. All right, you're taking KC out of their home environment, which they've been very strong defensively, and now you're putting them in a different game script right here against Joe Burrow, who's been lighting up defenses this year. So that's going to be a very good game to monitor. I love both quarterbacks in that one. All right, we're going to continue to go down Tom Brady. Tom Brady against the Jets. This is a great matchup here. Maybe Mike Evans comes back, but other than that, it's going to be Tyler Johnson. It's going to be let me see who else we got right here. I'm getting a little memory blank right here. So we got Tyler Johnson, we got Scotty Miller, and also, which it might work out if Mike Evans is out and Antonio Brown is out, the former Jet Brashard Perryman can step in as the number one wide receiver. He's had a couple touchdowns already this season with Tom Brady, so that can be very interesting to see as well. We'll get to that a little bit later, but two things can go two different ways in that game. They can really run it down the Jets' throat, or Tom Brady can put up points, or they can just do both because it's Tom Brady and it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So we like him there. Kyler Murray in what should be a shootout against Dallas. That should be a great game. Stafford and his wide receivers going against Baltimore, giving up the league worst and passing yardage as well and TDs. That's going to be intriguing. Maybe Lamar Jackson comes back. He is currently questionable, so we're not 100% sure on his ankle. They'll definitely need him. I love Dak Prescott in that game against Arizona. Jalen Hurts has the legs. Russell Wilson at 6,200 is in his final home game against Detroit. That can be very intriguing. He's at 6,200. We got Taysom Hill coming back from his little illness, and now he can get back to what he was doing in week 14 and week 13. That's what you probably going to see when he faces against Carolina. Um, I think that's a good spot because you know how much of a rushing quarterback he is. We love rushing quarterbacks over there. They give you a ton of DraftKings fantasy points, and that's what's going to get you to the top of these tournaments. Not really looking at Tannehill, not looking at Tagovailoa against Tennessee, even though Tennessee's pass defense is really bad. That's his best opportunity to get one of his better performances is going to be against Tennessee's defense. Some other gems with Jimmy Garoppolo out. Here are the salary saver quarterback here. It's pretty much one. If I continue to go down, Jared Goff is doubtful. We're not going there. Taylor Heineke, no. Yeah, Andy Dalton, no, against the Giants, even though that's an okay match. It's a pretty solid matchup. But what we're going to focus on is Trey Lance getting his opportunity again as the starting quarterback with Jimmy G out. This man has some upside here against Seattle. He had 20 fantasy points against Arizona. Better defense back then in week 5. He had 15 fantasy points in that one. You're getting him at a 4,800 salary. He has the upside with his legs, and he has the arm. He has a healthy wide receiver core with Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, and George Kittle. Trey Lance can probably be a lock for this week against Houston. I'm gonna be so cheap, so cheap, and we could pay up at so many. You can do so many things with Trey Lance. This is the Madden player. This is the sneaky player that's you don't see him. You don't. He's the unlocked player. All right, and we want to unlock him. Give me Trey Lance. All right, that's going to be one of the last plays for quarterback. We're going to move over to the running back positions. I love Trey Lance. Okay, running backs. Tons of ways we can go here. You got Jonathan Taylor, number one MVP right here, running back against Raiders. Very great matchup. With Trey Lance, you can finally pay for Jonathan Taylor and be fine, and you can pay him at other spots as well. So I love Jonathan Taylor at his price. Alvin Kamara against Carolina. That's a great matchup. Joe Mixon against KC. If they really try to pound the ball against them, that can be a good matchup. He also does very well in the receiving department. 6 catches, 6 targets, 70 yards, and a TD last week. A little bit of downfall the previous weeks before that, but it's very up and down with Joe Mixon in his receiving game. I thought it was going to be a little more consistent this year, but definitely has the upside to do so. This is a matchup where you're going to see a lot of points. He can definitely break off a few runs against this defense as well. Zeke against Arizona, we know that's a run funnel defense, and I think Zeke is getting back to his old form. I think they kind of saved it for the stretch run of the end of the season going into the playoffs. He's being clocked at a higher speed, his highest speed all year long. So that's a trending direction positively for Ezekiel Elliott. I don't like Cordarrelle Patterson going up against Buffalo. That's a tough matchup. Here's some gems right here. We got David Montgomery against the Giants. He gets fed a lot, a lot. So you got 20 rushes, 9 to 7 reception targets. That's ridiculous. Game before that, 18 to 5 to 6 reception to targets. And then Green Bay, 10 to 6 to 7 reception to targets. It's just every single week he's putting up the usage is like McCaffrey. So now this easier matchup, he definitely should go off going up against the New York Giants. Javonte Williams, I'm hearing little lesser things about Melvin Gordon. I think Javonte Williams gonna have a strong finish to his rookie season and really solidify his job for next year as well. Hopefully they don't bring back Melvin Gordon. We can really get to see Javonte Williams flourish. So he's someone to consider at 6,400. Some other gems for you guys because we got a lot of injuries. Damian Harris against Jacksonville. That's a great matchup. We're going to continue to go down. Rashad Penny. Rashad Penny at 6,100. Oh my God, man. He's been going off as of late. Had a struggle performance against the Rams. That's understandable. But even against Chicago, who's been pretty stout run defense, he had 135 yards and a touchdown against Houston. Really tore them up. 137 yards and 2 TDs. Imagine what he can do to Detroit, who's really kind of given up now. I really love Rashad Penny at his price. And we got more gems. We're going to continue to go down. We're going to continue to go down. Elijah Mitchell should be back going against Houston. That's a great matchup. 29th ranked. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is out. So who we're going to go to? We're going to Darrell Williams here. I told you about his pass catching prowess. He stepped in fine against Pittsburgh and really put up a nice performance. Then he had some great games against Las Vegas with 32 fantasy points, 17 against the Giants, 23 against Washington. So Darrell Williams is a nice gem right there. We'll throw him in there. And also, last but not least, we got Jared Patterson. There's all the running backs are out for Washington. No Antonio Gibson, no J.D. McKissick. It's going to be the Jared Patterson show. Going up against Philly. This is usage right here. We got price and we got usage. This is someone we can get to. Not seeing much in the reception department, but he's a bulldozer type back. He needs to get fed. In Memphis, he was one of the league leading rushers in college football. Jared Patterson at 4,800. Very sneaky price right there. All right. Next, we're going over to the wide receiver position. All right. And all the quarterbacks I just talked about, all the game environments are going to be crucial here. You want to pair them with the number one, number two wide receivers. And when you get into the end of the season, it's not just quarterback and number one wide receiver. You're going to have to do quarterback, wide receiver one, wide receiver two, and then see if you can bring it back with someone else and really, really take over these stacks. All right. So a game that I'm talking about that in is going to be Buffalo. All right. Buffalo, you got Stephon Diggs right here at 7,900. So if you're going to pair him with someone, we got news about Emmanuel Sanders currently questionable. That means we're going to Gabe Davis. I told you all year. I even drafted him in fantasy leagues. He was the wide receiver 5 at one point this season, but at the end of last season, he was second in touchdowns for the Buffalo Bills, right behind Stephon Diggs with 9 touchdowns last year. He's emerged as the number 2 wide receiver, which he should have been all year long. Sanders had some solid weeks, but Gabe Davis cannot be denied. Against Carolina, 5 for 7, 85 and 2 TDs. Against Tampa Bay, 5 for 8 for 43 and 1 TD. And against the New England Patriots, 2 for 4 for 30 and a TD. And that's on limited work. Gabe Davis is probably going to finish. Well, hopefully he can get a couple more touchdowns. We'll see if he gets to 9 yet again for back-to-back seasons for Gabe Davis. This man is talented. He cannot be ignored. I love his price at 5K. He is a steal. Someone else we're going to look at. A.J. Brown is all alone, okay? He is all alone going up against Miami. Tough matchup, but this is the only answer for Ryan Tannehill. And he totally torched San Francisco, and he was just getting peppered over and over. This man cannot be guarded. A.J. Brown, finally healthy, 11 for 16, 145, and a TD against San Francisco. I think he's going to finish strong for the rest of this season. Hopefully he doesn't have the injury bug bite him yet again next season. That's going to be very intriguing to see as well. Let's see if we got some other matchups. Like I said, the Baltimore Ravens pass D is putrid. We got Cooper Kupp. We got Van Jefferson. We got Odell Beckham. Give me all of these guys. I don't need to speak about Cooper Kupp. He is a monster. He's the number one wide receiver in fantasy, okay, for a reason. We love him there. And you want to pair him with Van Jefferson and Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham is getting a touchdown almost each and every game since he's come over. He's a solid play. You want every wide receiver in KC and Cincinnati. That should be a bombshell. Tyreek Hill. Give me T. Higgins. Give me Jamar Chase. Give me Byron Pringle. Byron Pringle is the number 2 wide receiver in this offense, okay? All right, you got Kelsey's back. I think he's going to have a great game. But who's emerged as the next guy up has been Byron Pringle. 6 of 7 for 75 with 2 TDs against Pittsburgh. Then against the Chargers, 3 for 4 for 23 yards in that game as well. I think him and Mahomes are really getting a nice connection together. Between McColl and Pringle, they have huge speed upside. So you can't go wrong with either or. All right, let's continue on down the list. Someone who's been very, very stable each and every week has been Hunter Renfrow. Okay, double-digit performances on each and almost every single week. Cleveland was a rough go, but against Denver, that style defense got a touchdown. Against KC, 32 fantasy points. Against Washington, 22. Against Dallas, 24. All right, you can't fade this man. I think him at his price and that weaker Indianapolis Colts defense, he can definitely have a great performance. I like Hunter Renfrow. Let's continue to work down. I said Russell Wilson's final game in Seattle, so we should look at Metcalf. He finally got a touchdown last week, and we can also look at Tyler Lockett. I think they'll have I think Metcalf will get to his 10 touchdowns for the season. We'll see about the 1,000 yards. He's right there too. I think all he needs is just a big game in this one and the next. But this is the final game, or what could be the final game for Russell Wilson. Okay, in Seattle. So we like Metcalf and Tyler Lockett. Another guy we can look at will be Amon St. Brown. All right, Amon-Ra St. Brown here. I wanted to fade him in weeks prior, but I, even with Nick Boyle being the starting quarterback, it doesn't matter. 9 of 11, 91 in a TD. 8 of 11 and 90 in a TD. He's become the new Brandon Cooks. 8 for 12 for 73, 10 for 12 and 1. This is someone to look out for next season. He'll be a steal in drafts if he's getting this type of usage. And obviously, the Detroit Lions are going to be down. They're going to be down. They're going to have to work their way back, and they're going to have to utilize. This is now the number one wide receiver. Okay, Amon-Ra St. Brown is definitely someone to key in on. All right. Mike Williams, we can get there. He's been activated. He's at currently at 6,000. Let's see if I can find you some other cheap guys. I already gave you Brashad Perriman. I already gave you Gabe Davis. I have another one for you guys, and that's going to be Kendrick Bourne, the wide receiver for the New England Patriots. Very easy matchup against the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's been having some big weeks. He had 23 fantasy points against Tennessee, 24 against Cleveland, 15 against the Jets, 14 against Dallas. It's been here and there. Every time New England needs to throw the ball, Kendrick Bourne has been that guy that you want to look at. And it has not been Jacoby Myers. He's more the possession receiver. The touchdown guy has been Kendrick Bourne and Hunter Henry. All right. Let's see if we have any other gems down here at wide receiver for you. But I think we narrowed in on a nice pool of guys for you. I told you about Brashad Perriman if Antonio Brown is out. That can be very sneaky. We talked about Van Jefferson. Who else we got down here? Gabe Davis at 5K. He's a steal. We don't know about Rashad Bateman and the quarterback situation. That's a wait and see. Let's see. Oh, Westbrook Akine. He's going to be the number 2 wide receiver in this offense for Tennessee. And with Julio Jones currently out, he should be the guy to step up as the number 2 wide receiver. Byron Pringle. I spoke to you about him. And I think that's it. I think that's how far we're going to go down. Let's move over to the tight end position. And I really want to pay up here. I just want to get Kelsey because he's probably going to get not forgotten about, but he's sandwiched in between Mark Andrews, who's been a beast, and George Kittle. So in between that sandwich, you got someone in the best matchup all week long, and that is tight ends against the Cincinnati Bengals. Okay, he's coming off a great performance in Week 15, had a week off. Now he's coming back yet again against Cincinnati. Can he duplicate that performance? Yes, I think he can. I love Travis Kelce at his price. Other tight ends to look at, obviously, Mark Andrews. You're going to pay top dollars for these guys. Rob Gronkowski's in a great matchup against the Jets, who are just right behind the Bengals in fantasy points allowed to tight ends. Kyle Pitts is not in a good spot. Dawson Knox is in a solid spot, especially if Emmanuel Sanders is out. Zach Ertz against Dallas is great. Dallas Goedert has been consistent all year long, as well as Dalton Schultz. I don't care the matchup. Dalton Schultz has been one of the main pass catchers in Dallas. Okay, 8 receptions in the past 2 weeks each. So Dalton Schultz is definitely someone sneaky to get with. Gerald Everett in a great matchup against Detroit. And we have, I think that's it. If you want to really punt it, Ricky Seals-Jones is the number 1 tight end in Washington, but he's been struggling as of late. I don't want to go there. I want to stay with the guys that I said previously before. There's a ton of gems up there and a ton of salary. I gave you a lot of salary saver guys in each and every position. All right, Trey Lance. Okay, Trey Lance. Yeah. I just want to say that one more time, Trey Lance. So let me know in that comment section down below if you have any other ideas at QB, at running back, at wide receiver, or tight end. We could definitely discuss that before the kickoff is tomorrow. All right. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MessageSD, and I'll be back with another video very soon. Peace out, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. All right, if you're still here, don't forget to subscribe.